If we were to narrow you down in 5 songs, the playlist that describes Tom Odell at this point in his life, where would we start?
Well, maybe we start with Life on Mars by David Bowie. Oh, God.
Take a look at the long man, beating up the wrong guy. Oh man, wonder if you'll ever know.
You don't
Life
even
on
know.
Mars, yeah.
Why that song?
I think that song is, the chords are so, I love it when chords are mad. They're really unusual, but the melody is so strong that it ties it together and people don't even notice. I love that in songwriting, and I love the lyric, you know, is there life on Mars? It's a beautiful lyric. And it says so much in so few words.
After his passing, did you go back to his music and find new stuff, or is it something that maybe is hard for you to touch on right now?
No, I mean, I always think it's strange. It's strange with artists, like, because I didn't know David Bowie. And so when he died, it's less mournful. His music's still the same to me as it was before he died. It means so much to me, and it still means much. It means so much more to me now. But yeah, the day he died, I listened to a lot of his albums, and I think I just felt overwhelmed by what an artist he was, and I think that's ultimately why there was such an outpour of love for him when he died, is that it was a reminder of what an artist he was. I think other artists like myself just find people like that inspiring, really inspiring. Well, I think maybe another one would be Wrong Crowd, because when I wrote it, I'm very proud of writing that song. It really represents me as a person, and really represents the album.
But I can't help it, I don't know how, I guess I'd always be hanging around with the wrong crowd.
And I'm excited for people to listen to the album.
This was the first single of the album, but it was followed up straight away, but within 2 weeks, I think, with Magnetize. This was something that was planned all along. You bringing up the Wrong Crowd, well, like you said, it means a lot to you, that song personally. It was nothing like pushing that song away by releasing another single so soon?
No, not at all. It was always the plan. It was never really planned to be a single. Mm-hmm. It was just, I think nowadays in music it's weird, like apart from the radio, people don't consume, they don't go to a shop and buy the single and that's the only thing they hear. It's like in some ways the album's become even more, I believe, even more present because it's a body of work in which people indulge in many, many different ways. And for me, it's more of the Wrong Crowd is a body of songs which I want to give to the world in an interesting way. And in that Wrong Crowd film, the music video, there was another song in it as well called Constellations, which was just a minute of it, which is also on the album. And we're going to put some more songs out soon. It's not about one song, this album. It's about, I'm so proud of every single song on this album and every single song I'd play to anyone. So yeah. I think I'd go for Tiny Dancer by Elton John. Very inspiring when I first heard that song when I was 12 years old, and it motivated me to write my own music. And what's so strange is I've since come to know Elton, and I'm a huge fan of his. And he asked me to come and support him in London.
That must have been like pinch me.
Yeah, and it was crazy. And they were making this documentary about him at the time, and he asked me to play Tiny Dancer, and they filmed it, and I played it in front of him.
While he was there?
Yeah, and it was, it's nuts, it's crazy. Everyone imagines it in a different way. I imagine a tiny, this beautiful tiny dancer like in dancing along the piano. It's nice.
Hold me closer, tiny dancer. Count the headlights on the highway.
I once read in an interview that you specifically said people should know Elton not from his more cheesy 80s hits, but the things that he did in the 70s. And well, that's something I dearly love.
Yeah.
But can you even begin to describe what's so good about the songs that he made in that period?
Well, I think they were ultimately if you listen to Captain Fantastic and Honky Chateau, Man Across the Water, Don't Shoot Me, I'm the Only Piano Player. Those albums were for me. One thing I've always loved is beautiful melodies and chords and lyrics, and I think he was a master of that at that point. With Bernie obviously writing the lyrics, but like the lyrics were super interesting and evocative and imagery. The imagery is beautiful. Like it paints a picture, and I find it incredible. Those albums are just stunning. So yeah, I mean, he's a huge influence, and I definitely, if it wasn't for him, I don't, his music inspired me to write. And since then, when I was making this album, The Wrong Crowd, I had the opportunity to send him songs as I was making it, and he'd come back with comments. So he's had a great effect on my life, that man. Yeah, I have nothing but love for him.
I can understand.
There's a song that's always really inspired me by the Waterboys, which is Whole of the Moon, which is always got me every time.
I saw the crescent. You saw the whole of the moon.
I think it's the lyric. I saw the crescent, but you saw the whole of the moon. And I think, it's a stunning lyric, but I think that's always been my ambition, is to write as well as that in a song. And to capture that, it's so melancholic, the whole song. I've always had ambitions to try and recapture that. Or not recapture it, but be as good as that.
Well, like you said, you're very proud of the new album. Did you feel that you came closer to that goal of writing such lyrics that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm never satisfied to the complete point. It's.
You shouldn't be, right?
No, and it'd be worrying if I was. If I was, I hear problems the whole time in the songs, and lots of people won't like them and probably don't like them, and that's fine. But yeah, I think this album, any songwriter you meet will always love his last song, and his songs from a few years before is forget it.
Yeah. That was a different me.
Yeah. We move and I think it's like any artist as well. It's like I don't like looking back.
At what point is a song old to you? I mean, you finished the album obviously, like a couple of months ago.
Yeah. Well,
are they already old? They're now coming into the world, of course.
They don't feel old because no one's heard them yet. Okay. Yeah.
So you're still fine with them.
Yeah, it's nice. They're lovely to play still, and what's nice is that there's a point when you get in performing when it suddenly becomes automatic, and you're still performing, you're still doing it, but there's sometimes if you play a song too much, you sing it, and you're playing away, but you're thinking about what you're going to have for dinner. Pineapples, apples, a loaf of bread, butter, 3 grams, tomatoes, red, tin carrots, oranges, and water and wine. Any of these things, it would be fine. I'm a supermarket shopper and I'm gonna be alright. Supermarket shopper, that's me tonight. That's what it would have been like. That could have been the album. It doesn't happen very often to me, and I try and avoid it at all costs to not overplay songs. But when I perform, I wanna have that burn, that energy of like that I had when I wrote it. So you have to be in the right sort of mental state to do that, I think, sometimes. But it's weird. Even I was in Paris yesterday and I sang Magnetized at like 10 o'clock in the morning in some radio station. But it could have been anywhere. I could have been at home singing it for the first time.
You were waking up.
Yeah, you shut your eyes. You just, you go into it. It's the wonderful thing about music, I think.
Last track on the playlist, who is Tom Odell?
There's a song by Tom Waits called San Diego Serenade. And the lyric is like, I didn't see the sunset until it was gone, and I didn't see, much like that Passenger song, actually.
Never saw my hometown till I stayed away too long. I never heard the melody.
It goes, I never felt your kiss until it was, it's a really stunning lyric, which the day I heard I must have played about 100 times. It's stunning, which I recommend everyone listen to.
Well, that concludes our playlist.
Amazing.
What I'm curious about, I'm not quite sure if it goes for the new album as well, but something you said in several interviews that your lyric writing is dependent on how bad your relationships are going. Is this still true?
I don't know. It's fairly naive when I said that, I think. I'm not sure. Maybe to some extent. It's important to feel uncomfortable, I think, when you write. And I think that's usually very easy for me. But that's why when I was writing The Wrong Crowd, the album, I went to New York and started writing it in New York, in an apartment not that dissimilar to this, with a piano. And it was important for me to get out of London because I wanted to feel like I was a visitor somewhere. Mm-hmm. And you can't just like be at home and get up at 9 every day, read the paper, and then write a load of songs. It has to feel a little bit more, to be a little bit more on edge, I think, to write anything that really means something. I don't know.
It's maybe that piece of Mother Nature in you that you're looking for, but maybe it's just the ability to create these little pieces of magic.
Well, maybe, yeah. That's very nice.
Would it suit you?
I'd take that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Cheers.